Last thing is verified performance, and as I mentioned, the testing of how a house performs I think is critical. I think buyers like it, and I think all of us think it makes sense. The picture on the right, of course, is an infrared camera, which has been around for a long time. The technology is so remarkable now. The prices have gone from $30,000 for a camera down to $8,000. Insulators are now saying, you know what, I should have that device to make sure that when I'm done insulating, before we finish the house, I verified that what I said I did happens. We also see the blower doors in the middle, as I mentioned, about the tightness, and even devices like this that test the tightness of the ductwork. So if I know I have very tight ducts distributing fresh air to the family, using energy in an optimal way, tightening up the building, I can really calculate the way this house is going to perform and both buy it, sell it, and operate it, knowing what I have. In the end, we really talk about how our industry is changing, and it's not going to come out of this lower cycle, is that what we could call it, lower cycle? A reduced sales opportunity to an increased sales opportunity that really is going to be different than it went in. When it went in, it was kind of wild, and if you build it, they will come. Now as we come back out of it, it's going to be more selective buyers who for years have been thinking about it. So our process is changing. And this is kind of a case of it's not my job. We're trying to change a little bit of that to say, this is the tree removal guy today didn't show up, and the guy doing the stripe decided it's not his part. And everybody has to play a role here. How do we support the fact that taking the time to teach each other, teach everybody in the marketplace what needs to be done? And in order to do that, we're going to have everybody involved, from the management of the company to the trade contractors, testing professionals, salespeople, product manufacturers, all saying the same story. Efficient, health, safety buildings are what people want to have affordable operation and a more sustainable product. And that's kind of the goals that we're shooting for, that this is a long process, but it's a really obvious one that needs to happen. The last piece is how do we market to buyers and make sure that we educate and understand their needs, provide them with options and features that clearly identify their lifestyle changes and what really matters to them, what's impacting them in the marketplace, and how do they make better decisions, and how do you help them make better decisions. This happens to be a builder in Sacramento, California. Imagine walking up the steps, and now you're changing what you're thinking about. You're no longer wondering, I wonder what the living room's going to look like. You're thinking about the performance of the house, or how the energy efficiency of the building ultimately saves me money. So now I've gone into that house and I've got more questions, more ideas, and I've changed my thought process. This is, of course, one of the largest builders in the nation deciding how they're going to make that happen. Finally, we just have materials that can be used to help teach builders. These are some videos and web stuff, as well as locations people can go to learn more about how buildings perform, Journal Light Construction, Fine Home Building, publications like Green Builder. Finding a way to get these features in the front of the builders, in front of the consumers, and let them know what we can do. In the end, I'd like to kind of finish with a quote by Margaret Mead. She said something that's important for all of us to remember individually. She said that a small group of thoughtful people can change the world, and indeed it is the only thing that ever has. Each one of us has an opportunity to make an impact that collectively has an enormous chance of changing the way things are done. So all of you play an important role in making a difference, talking about it because it's important. It matters to everyone, to all of our families, all of future generations. It's what we should do. And in the end, I'll share with you a quote from John Ruskin, who was born in 1819, and he said that when we build, let us think that we build forever. Let it not be for present delight or present use alone, but let it be such work our descendants will thank us for. The idea that we leave legacies for future generations to say that we know the information today, and we have to make sure we make those decisions so that they can be not only proud of us, but the legacy we leave is the right one. And we know this is the right thing to do. We also know it's what we have to do. So how do each one of us play a role in changing that view? Thank you.